I guess in the first 6 weeks, I got like 46 new clients. And then month on month, I've had 24 new clients on average. And I think in terms of returning client rate, maybe in the beginning of the year, I was sitting at like 45%, but now I'm at 80 and I've got like a 96% occupancy.
I learned skills on how to run a business that allowed me to have more freedom, financial freedom, allowed me to get more into editorial work, move to London, be featured in magazines, go on stage.
You know, it's nice to get a little bit of extra money in the door and feel like you're getting more what you think you're worth.
In the past, I was treating my business as if it was sort of like a hobby. But really stepping on board and seeing how the team runs, things that I can implement, strategies at work, personal development has been probably the biggest thing. That's been the biggest key.
My figures for November last year were 40% higher than the November before. Before I came on this retreat, 63% in the first 2 weeks higher than the January previous. So we're getting big changes there. Post-COVID, my business wasn't as profitable as it was before, so I'd probably still be stuck in that hole, and I would definitely still be lost looking for leadership and also a community of like-minded people, which I found. I joined the mentorship program in search of direction. I felt lost in my career, maybe because I spun too many plates, wasn't able to concentrate on just one area of my business, and I was looking for clarity. As a leader in what I do, I needed a form of leadership.
I'd probably be in hospital from getting sick with stress, because I was getting sick for about a year because the industry is quite unhealthy, hence why I am really focused on wellness now.
I joined the mentorship program because I had a really good experience with you guys at the 3-day course, and I felt like our values aligned. I guess from a practical sense, I wanted to accelerate my progression for the next step in my journey. It's really it. I felt like if I wanted to get somewhere, I wanted to go fast, then I had to learn from people who I agreed with from a value perspective and who are doing great things in business as well.
It would have brought a lot of disappointment, I think, kind of into my life, because I know it's something that I really want, and I know that I love barbering, I love providing the service that we provide. So it was important for me definitely to find the direction that I was going and just figure out the business areas that I was stuck in, because I don't think it was the business that was necessarily getting me down. It was just the stuck part. There was a few blockages and holes that I needed to get through.
I joined the mentorship program because I felt trapped within the industry, and I had a gut feeling that I was meant to do more.
I think I was struggling on just driving the needle forward in my business. A lot of the areas in my life already looked well, but my biggest regret would be looking back on my life and not feeling like I'd truly achieved my financial and spiritual and personal journey. I would have fallen into, I think, the same patterns that I had in the past. I'd still be struggling to progress forward with the business or the personal development. I think having mentoring and coaching, you stay grounded, you stay locked in, you don't really allow the outside noise to determine what you do. So if I never invested, I probably would still be where I was at. I think somewhere I felt like I was just missing a little bit of that, and I knew that you guys had the tools to provide that on such a deeper level than what I was aware of at that moment.
I think I joined more out of a feeling of being stuck and lack of direction of where I was heading with it. And I think I've kind of found that with you guys a little bit. I've got a little bit more clear and clarity from it. That was the main reason why I joined.
I think personally, I would probably have built up a lot of resentment at the industry at large, because I think coming from a different field, I was feeling quite uneasy at the lack of structure that was, inbuilt, and the lack of progression or the lack of future. And so that really was eating at me, even though I had only been cutting for, a couple of slightly less than a year at that time. But I could kind of see where it was not going. So I think I would have probably gotten quite bitter, and I might have second-guessed why I chose to make the switch. Business-wise, I think I would just have lacked direction as to the next steps, to be honest. I don't think I would be where I am right now, feeling like I'm in a position to open my own space in my own studio. Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things impact-wise is I wouldn't have developed a good support group and a good community that have a similar growth mindset. I think that's so important.
I'd say the first one and the biggest one is you guys are like amazing hairdressers and hair cutters, but the focus on everything else that surrounds that and not just the hair has been the biggest part of what you do. And it's not just business as well. It's not even just how to make more money. It's the holistic approach that you guys provide. And the second would have to be the intimacy, the level of like one-on-one, the level of personalization to exactly what, you know, I or my business needs has been just so influential.
For me, the biggest and most powerful part is the values and purpose workshop. I needed to hear that so I could implement that throughout my business and the team members of my business. I'm a big fan of a 6-week game plan, and more recently, the January Jumpstart that we did is very helpful. So the biggest impact for me was a buy-in from my team members, and that came from the purpose and the values workshop. I shared that with them. We were able to collaborate business values and a purpose from that, and they had a part in that. So it wasn't like I was telling them what to do, they were coming along for the ride. So that was massive, that was huge. 6-week game plan. Every 6 weeks, we traffic light our business, areas of growth I'm looking for. How can I make those strengths within my business? And it's just clarity within that. Like, I'm not getting lost in the bigger picture. I'm able to just zoom in and concentrate on the micro and areas that need it. And then the January Jumpstart, just quick fire ways to pull levers and get instant results. I had results before the call ended that night. It's just easy wins. And then the team see that, another buy-in.
The 3 that come to mind are the purpose and value workshop. Very, very fundamental and so critical for the contextualization of everything else that comes in the course. For me, the price increase run-in was very, very useful. Really smoothed that process over, and I think built confidence in myself and I guess like my perceived value. And then the focus finder is amazing. I think it gave me a snapshot of where I actually was as opposed to where I thought I was, and how that can be a continuing exercise, because business is not a static thing, right?
I think finding your purpose and your values were probably the main 2, because it made like decision making a lot easier. You could say no to a lot of things that's in line with you.
I think probably having the accountability factor of the check-ins every week had definitely made a bit of an impact. Kind of holds me to my word of doing the things I said I was going to do, and also wanting to bring the wins back into the course with me. Yeah, every week. I think that's definitely one of them. A lot of the personal stuff I've gained over the last while, a lot of limiting belief factors and stuff that I've had that I've managed to kind of, I think, knock down in the last few while. A lot of stuff that was holding me back there with that. That was huge for me as well. I think a lot of the time I was probably in my own way, you know. I think that was the big thing with me, and I'm out spending too much time with the wrong people. The proximity thing wasn't great at the time, and I took a lot of kind of cleaning that out to literally clear the path in front of me before I could start making roads at the business, you know. I wasn't speaking up enough for what I wanted, maybe out of fears of what other people might have thought about me or vice versa in my town, you know. So I think that was huge for me, you know. I didn't think I'd actually be able to get to the price point that I was at, or I don't think I would have done it without the help or the communication with you guys, you know.
I think my favorite part is that you and Lee have done so much of the work, and not just in terms of the hair, not in terms of like your business education, like you've done a lot of the personal work as well. And it's a bit of like a if you know situation. I think when you speak to someone who's gone through like a process of healing, a process of redefining their identity, there's a connection there or a sense of understanding there that isn't present just in every other normal everyday interaction. That helps me feel like more understood and seen, and it makes it easier for me to like take in the information that's being put down. And I know that you're able to deliver information in a way that's going to be personalized to me. And the other thing is just that, honestly, at the core, like I feel like you and Lee are just very open and giving people. You're never gonna say no to helping someone. That kind of energy, I think, filters through the community that you've built. I guess the genuine connection that forms like within the group as well. So I know that I can come to you with any question. Isn't that what you want from a mentor or a coach?
The environment, like I think that I know, like what you've done, bringing everyone together that's like-minded and like a growth environment has been unreal.
I think to check it in every week has just been really nice. Just having that constant touch base, like communication with. I think I need that personally as well, and it's nice to have the proximity of good minds and good people and to keep pushing you in the right directions, you know, because we mightn't necessarily all have that at home in our own environments, you know. Yeah. So the more you can kind of connect with that, I think the better it is for me as well for moving forward, you know.
It's helped me achieve so much more than I thought was possible. And I think it's helped me connect with people which I'd really struggled to search for in my community. This is just such a small group of barbers now, currently. But I think that the influence and the impact that it can make on changing people's lives, so far, I think it's just been a massive life, change. So much more direction, so much more purpose, so much more fulfillment, being able to shape my life, and letting my business kind of feel the desires of what I actually want to have in life. I think that's been the biggest one.
Is the contextualization. It makes everything relatable. And if I can relate to it, I believe I can do it. Yes, we learn things about business. I'm not well versed in business, but I'm becoming well versed in business through the contextualization. A powerful community. I feel like I have become a better leader myself, for my team, for my personal relationships, and that's the most important to me. The business has definitely profited from it. I've done a price running. Even before the price running, my figures for November last year were 40% higher than the November before. Before I came on this retreat, 63% in the first 2 weeks higher than the January previous. So we're getting big changes there. And again, another buy-in for the staff. But first and foremost, I'll be able to create deep connections, and I didn't know how to do that before. And that creates a sense of feeling to me that I can carry on and will stay.
So far, I've been able to, fully commit to everything, to take a bit more of a professional approach. In the past, I was treating my business as if it was sort of like a hobby, but really stepping on board and seeing how the team runs, things that I can implement, strategies at work, personal development has been probably the biggest thing. That's been the biggest key.
I think in terms of raw data, I guess in the first 6 weeks, I got 46 new clients. And then month on month, I've had maybe 24 new clients on average. And I think in terms of returning client rate, maybe in the beginning of the year, I was sitting at 40, 45%, but now I'm at 80. And I've got a 96% occupancy, which I think has been very good, because along with those numbers is also the fact that everyone who's sitting in my chair now are people who I'm aligned with as well. So that means that I enjoy my work a lot more. And I think that's probably the better result, even though those numbers are cool too. I think personally, I've just been able to lean in more to the self-awareness piece and seeing the links between developing myself and my awareness of my own emotions and state of being, and how that impacts everything that you do in life. I think it helps me to see the significance of stuff that might seem a bit airy-fairy or woo, oh, what's your purpose? Or how do you feel about things? But I think at the highest level, when you go deep enough, you find that everything that you do in life is inextricably linked between who you are, why you do what you do, and the result that you're chasing. I think constantly being in this environment has enabled me to explore that more and keep that more of a central part in my life.
I learned skills on how to run a business that allowed me to have more freedom, financial freedom, allowed me to get more into editorial work, move to London, be featured in magazines, go on stage. Yeah, doing quite a lot.
Yeah, I think getting down to a 4-day work week has been huge for me, and creating that extra day of space where I can work on my business and not in it. I can see now that seems to be the best way forward for me personally as well. I'm happier going to work, I think, every day. I'm more content. It's not as stressful as what it was. That's been huge for me, and obviously the price increases has been really nice as well. It's nice to get a little bit of extra money in the door and feel like you're getting more what you think you're worth. Yeah, it feels good as well.
Every single time. I got paralysis or fear of, everything that I've worked for in the business, building my personal growth, building my business to a point where I was happy with it. But to put aside so much money into coaching, where I felt like I'd already done a lot of difficult work, was something which felt like I was just giving it all away. But to mentally get past that barrier and realize that there's so much more in it for me by investing in the right coaches, yeah, I think that was it. Even after the 3-day course that we did, I thought, oh, this is a no-brainer. These guys know exactly what they're talking about. I've gained so much from this already that it's a no-brainer to invest in the coaching. And I finally decided to take that step. But I don't know why I didn't do it sooner.
So we met on the 3-day course. I was sold instantly. I did have reservations though, and that was through fear of myself, or my own fear. I'd never invested the amount in myself that it cost to join the mentorship, but it's the best investment I've made personally and in my business.
Yeah, price was surprisingly not an objection, because I think I had it set in my mind that I was going to undertake some form of mentorship already. But the main objection was, quite ironically, like, what tactics am I going to learn? Because I had other people sort of in my surroundings saying like, oh, you know, but like, I think it's good if you get mentorship from people who like have owned barbershops. You know what I mean? Or have done like XYZ, or like will get you like a certain income goal. Or so I think that actually confused me a lot, to be honest. Because I think in my heart, I knew like, okay, I know that working with Owen and Lee is going to be good. And like, I trust them, values are aligned, and what they're doing is what I would want to do as well. I think there's a lot of noise when it comes to making a big decision like this. And there's a lot of other voices in the industry that I guess sell you a version of success that is more in line with the general social narrative of more, bigger, more money, more haircuts, right? And you know this, you know, we had a conversation about it at that sort of critical moment where I was torn between a couple of options. I think you held a lot of space for that conversation to occur. It just helped me realize that if I just recenter on, I guess, how I felt or what my gut was telling me, usually that's the right way to go, right? And so I'm glad that I'm here because I'm learning, and I have learned the tools to create my own blueprint and chase my version of success, which I think is all you could really ask for.
I had no objections. I think when I chatted to you first, I knew like your intentions were good and wanted to help me, so I was in straight away.
Yeah, I don't think really I had any objections because I felt like I was in a real stuck place of rut, so I was willing to try. And I don't know, was it almost because I was seeking it a little bit inside myself? I started to see more of your stuff online, and so maybe it's through pages and stuff that I followed, or the algorithm and stuff started to throw it up a little bit for me. But it just kind of presented itself in front of me, and it made the most sense for me and to get me out of the pattern that I was in. And I hadn't seen another program out there like this that was helping business owners in the barbering industry. So this was kind of huge for me, especially when it was directly related to my field, you know?
Yeah.
Just that it's been fantastic so far, and I'd really like to thank yourself and Lee for everything you've been doing for us. It's been great. It's been really great for me in my life anyway, you know. It doesn't take a long time to get results, I think, in this program, you know. And that's really kind of gives you the push to go forward, you know.
I think it's been transformative, bro. To be able to be coached in this group, I think something that I struggle with is like feeling like I'm not worthy to be in the room that I'm in, you know? Like what was shared during this whole business mastery thing. But I think at multiple points, like being in this group has kind of helped me dispel that myth that I have about myself or about my narrative, you know, or my story. It's also a bit challenging, I guess, being so much newer to the industry, because I feel like, oh, maybe I need to be like OG status or something to be able to give back. But it's cool because I've seen like ways that I can and have already started giving back. And it's honestly like in large part due to how you and Lee have kind of guided the way I perceive things and given me, you know, the right frameworks to think about how I move through life and move through the industry, right? So I'm very grateful for that, to be honest. I have a lot of respect for you guys because you always keep your word. Like, you're very consistent, and there's no like surprises, you know. Who you are is who you are. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
My time has been life-changing, and thank you. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without you.
I think anyone can benefit from coaching. Just like myself, the first day I walked into the barbershop, I had no idea what my journey would look like, but I just knew I had a passion to become better. And getting coaches who show you the direction, getting the right ones who hold your values and vision are aligned together. If you can align your vision with your coaches, it will progress you so much further. It will bring so much betterment into what you do.
I would wholeheartedly recommend Unlimited Barber Coaching to any barber who considers themselves as a professional.
If you're someone who wants to create or be in a position where you can start designing your life in alignment with what it is you truly desire, and you want some frameworks on how to discover that and make choices that are aligned with who you are at your core, I think this is the course for you. And if you want to feel a sense of control, or I guess a sense of clarity as to where you're going, then you should definitely sign up. The cop-out answer is everyone. But yeah, I think if you feel any of those things, you should definitely at least have a chat.
Any soul that's like me, that feels trapped. Yeah, anyone that wants more, find what they love and enjoy. Like,
Could really recommend it to anybody. I think in our industry, I think it could seriously benefit anybody in the industry. But definitely, if you're a person maybe who's in a place that you feel like you're stuck and feeling unsure of your direction moving forward, I think it's really going to serve you. I think those people are going to get the best results they feel out of it, you know. And maybe a lack of purpose. If you're kind of feeling that way, then this will help you bring you into your own, definitely.
My name is Pat. I am a barber and a co-owner of 5 barbershops. I educate within the industry and also assess within the industry.
Joey, I'm a self-employed barber. I'm a student to the game.
I'm Thor, and I help people see themselves. That's what I do.
I'm Tony McCarthy. I am a human who can cut hair, a wellness enthusiast and a horse lover.
My name's Greg. I'm from Killaloe, County Clare in Ireland, and I own GMC Barbers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.